Hey guys, this is Sean McGarry coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the music salon where great things happen. Hope everyone is doing freaking awesome out there. Got a great little lesson today. Going to talk about rhythm, spicing up your acoustic a little bit with triads, all kinds of stuff. And hey man, before we get into this, do me a favor. I just released one of my Rhythm of Lifes. If you guys haven't seen that yet, I interviewed different guitar players, even athletes. It all has to do with how music relates to life and how we're all into music in this crazy world of ours. And it's kind of a cool little thing that I'm kind of proud of, some of these interviews that I've been doing. And I released one last week with Harry fucking Valentino, as I call him, from the band High Fade, a Scottish band. If you're not familiar with those guys, do yourself a favor, man. They made a tour stop through Cincinnati a couple weeks ago, and I had the honor and privilege of interviewing Harry. And all I can tell you is just check that band out. Even if you don't watch my interview, check them out. But check out the interview, man. It's pretty cool. I think you guys will get something out of it. There's some jamming we do. And even check out some back issues if you want of those episodes of Rhythm of Life. Okay, let's dive into today's lesson, all right? So if you watched the intro, you kind of heard what I was doing there. Nothing crazy, but man, it's just a fun way to spice up chord progression. So let's take a nice chord progression. A minor, D minor, E or E7, preferably the 7, back to A minor. For me, it invokes, a lot of different styles and ideas. It could be as simple as a country ballad or a Spanish sing or like a gypsy jazz, but it could be anything. But again, we want to take these three chords, and I'm going to show you a little trick here that you can use to spice it up a little bit. So first thing is just a rhythm, I like this rhythm. Now, some might call this the boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chucka, boom chuck, right? Silly little thing, but it actually works. I show this to my students all the time, and it really helps your timing and just strumming, because I think a lot of people struggle with just like picking up the acoustic guitar or guitar and strumming. It's probably, most people suffer from that when they're learning, because you don't know. It's like learning to walk, right? So if you think of this little boom chuck, and I want to go over this real quickly. So in the key of A minor, there's different ways to do this, but I'm going to go boom on the A string, chuck on the downstroke. Boom, chuck, boom, chuck. Pretty basic. You guys probably know that, but it's worth mentioning. But you can also change the bass note, and this is a really cool thing. Boom, chuck, boom, chuck. So I alter from the A to the E, right? And you've heard it in a million songs. You may not know you've heard it, but you've heard it. Okay, so just start with that and get a little groove going like it. And I'm going to just show you little things that I do when I'm playing, because I play a lot of acoustic gigs, man. And you kind of have to be a one-man band. Nowadays we have loopers, but you still use all these rhythm tricks. This might be real basic to some of you guys, and that's okay. There's still ideas, right? So this. So when you're playing like an A minor, and I trace this back to one of the first guitar songs I ever learned as a kid, Stairway to Heaven, right? He goes, I'm not going to play Stairway to Heaven, but it's in there. If you listen to the intro, he does that little. So I credit Jimmy Page this little riff that I borrowed, 1,000 years ago. But again, if you're playing A minor, all those things like the boom chucks, the lifting off of the fingers on and off. So let's get to the meat and potatoes of what I played earlier before I get too off track here, and then we'll maybe spice up some other things. So all I want you guys to do, and we're gonna do today, grab your guitar, let's play along. From this chord, this A minor, I am going to play the Triad inversions mixed with this chord. And wherever you're playing this, like a chord set, if it was off these strings, you could do the triads off these. It's not a set rule in stone, but this is a good way to practice. So here, A minor, now I'm gonna go up to the first inversion, which is right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to the next inversion, which is up here. And if you notice, that looks like a D7 shape, right? That's a really nice inversion that I think gets overlooked a lot by players. It's this shape, and it's played up here. It's a beautiful sound. So if I play the open A string with that chord on top, it sounds really nice. Okay, then the final inversion off the string set is basically going back to this one, an octave higher, the A minor shape. So all together we got this: A minor, position 1, inversion, inversion, and then, right? Okay, and when you land here, look where you're at. Well, the next chord in our progression is D minor, so I'm gonna land right. There's a D minor right here, and we're gonna work our way back. I really like this idea. So far from the top, if I go, and by the way, we're keeping this in time. Boy, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I was playing like that. However you want to count it, though, make sure it's in that frame, that measure. Okay, so you're playing these triads in that measure before you get to the next chord. Let me reiterate that one more time. If I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, and so you've got all that space to do this little move. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what did I do here? I did the same concept, but going back that way. It sounds really cool. So I did my D minor shape, this guy right here. Look at this inversion. And I'm playing off of these string sets, right? I have 3 strings. And look right here. Then when I get to my E chord, I'm gonna play this nice little variation of an E, okay? So this is cool. I'm playing the major third right here of the E chord. You can look at the E chord. You don't have to even have to know what this is called, a major third, but that is the major third. That's a beautiful variation of an E chord, look. Okay, so let's play catch up real quick. So from the beginning, I'm going, C. D minor. Right there, okay? So now I'm gonna do these triad inversions off this string set. I'm gonna go. Now here I'm gonna play an E7. I could play either or, but I'm gonna play the 7 here. Or I'm sorry, a major, then a 7, and then back to E major, back up to here, and then you're back home. I could go right there and resolve it, okay? Lots of different things. So last one, E right here, 1, 0, 0, D7 shape, look, slide up 2 frets. Nice inversion right here, 7, 9, 9, F shape up here, and we've completed everything. So here's how it sounds up to speed. Okay, now a couple things I want to point out too. This is great, and I picked this key for a reason, because you can, over these chords, you can kind of accompany yourself with the bass note. So check it out. Right, so check it out. I keep that A note going, that A string. Same for the D, check it out. Well, we can do it for E too. So that's a lot of fun. You know, and there's a couple cool little tricks you can do, but I would start with that. Now, I'm going to show you just a couple other little things, not necessarily you would use over this, but just in general. So, like if you're playing A minor, any of these chords, you know, all these little embellishments you can do. Like if I'm playing an A minor, I like to do these little things where you just, you know, you put fingers on and off. You know, you take things on and off. And I mention this a lot on my rhythm lessons is you don't have to have somebody show you, you know, I mean, you can try things and you'll know if it sounds good or not. So if I'm playing an A minor, you know, look at this. Well, I could put a finger here. Sounds kind of cool, right? Definitely cool. Not so cool. So your ear will tell you, and my point to this is, if you got a free finger, start investigating, man. See what happens when you move fingers around. That's how I discover most of the stuff I know. It's by accident. You know what I mean? A lot of people do. So again, if I'm playing A minor, all I'm doing is I'm adding what's called the minor 7, so which is this note, or like this. You know, maybe I'll pick through the notes. Right, so you're always kind of grasping for straws, if you will, and see what happens. D minor. You know, I'm not going to get too far deep into this, but I just want to show you, for all these chords, every position you play these triads, and I'll show you one more example. Like if I go up here, you know, there's wonderful chords you can play. Look at this. It's a minor 9 up here. I love that chord. So if I'm going... all kinds of cool stuff. Guys and girls, thank you so much for watching.